Hey there, this is John Stoffer, and I'm here to bring you a tech tip from MCAM Northwest. So if you've been programming in Mastercam for a while, you've probably been building yourself some nice tool libraries, and that's awesome. There's a lot that you can do with that to help automate your programming and make it quicker and easier. But you may have noticed that every time you bring in a machine definition, you have to reselect the tool library that you want to use with that machine, and that's a little bit annoying. The good news is, this is actually a setting that you can change with your machine definition. So if we get that set, it can save you a few more clicks every time you use Mastercam. Let's take a look at how we do this. I'm going to show you an example with mill, lathe, and a mill turn machine. The mill machine will also cover how router machines work. So let's get into it. So here I've got my three machine groups, and we're going to start with mill. If I open up the files here under the machine group properties, I can actually see a group here labeled libraries. And if I expand that, we can see the library that's currently being used, the default one, mill_inch, because I'm in inch mode. Now I want to set this to a different tool library. I can, of course, just change it here. And this does change the active tool library in this file, but it doesn't change it permanently for my machine definition. To do that, I need to go back to the machine tab itself. I'm going to go ahead and close the machine group setup, go to my machine tab, and then select my machine definition here. I'm going to green check here, just telling Mastercam that I'm aware that I'm changing the disk copy or the permanent copy of this machine. Then from here, I'm going to select this button for General Machine Parameters. Finally, we need to find a tab labeled Tool/Material Libraries, and when we select it, we get this window. Here I can change the tool library associated with this machine, both for US and metric. So I'm going to select this button here. Then I'm going to find my new library. In this case, I'll use my custom tool library. Once I'm happy with that, green check here, say yes to allow that save, and then here we can click yes. And this is going to change the library that's associated with this machine in this file and any future files. So if I come back in here to Files, open up Libraries, we can see that it's been updated here. And every time I bring in a new machine with this machine definition, this library will load by default. So that's perfect. I can also take that same library and associate it to multiple machine definitions. Let's say you have a cell of a few machines that all use the same tool library because they all make similar stuff, but you have a separate group of machines that uses a different library. If you have those two libraries, you can associate each one of them to each group of machines as you like, and it's not going to affect the other. Now let's take a look at lathe. It's pretty much the same thing, and in fact, if we go into files, it behaves much the same way here. It shows us the tool database file that's being used. And we also go to the machine tab, open up the machine definition in order to change this, using the same page in the general machine parameters. The difference here is that you have a overall tool library file here, but you also have your turning insert catalog and your turning holder catalog. This is because this machine is capable of milling, so the tool library up here is for the mill tools, and then the turning insert catalog and turning hold catalog is for the actual inserts and holders for any turning. Now in this case, they're all combined into a single library, and you can do that. Mix your mill and lathe tools together. That is okay. It's just giving you another option for organizing your files the way that you see fit. So select as you like, set up those files as you like, and you're good to go. Just make sure that if you're working with other programmers, they agree with this organization too. Now finally, let's talk mill turn. This one's a little bit different. See, when we talk about mill turn, it's different because of the limitations that we have inside of Mastercam. Now my properties here, if I go to files, again, I can see my tool library that's been selected. But if I go to my machine tab, the machine definition is not available. You cannot modify your machine definition in a .machine environment. So what do we do? Well, if we take a look at Code Expert, we can actually see that the file itself for mill turn _ut_inch for this particular machine is already selected as my tool library. The reason it behaves this way is because each individual .machine file has its own dedicated tool library. So instead of of associating to something else that exists, we simply need to adjust this one. We cannot swap them out, and we can't change the name of them. So instead of doing it the way that we have been, what we can do is go to our turning menu, open up our lathe tool manager, and then in the existing library that's right down here, using this file that's already associated, we can simply select all by clicking on one tool, using Control A to select all, then delete on our keyboard, followed by yes. This is now empty. We can now fill this library with any tools we like from the top by using these buttons here. Once you have everything saved in there the way that you like, you can green check and then click yes here. And that saves that information. You would do the same thing in your mill tool manager here. Once you're done with both of those, we need to go back to Code Expert. You'll see that under tool libraries, and you see the mill turn tool file here, there is an asterisk at the end of the name. That means that the file has been changed, but it needs to be saved back to the dot machine for permanent save. So click in this white space, make sure that this bar up here is blue for Machine Explorer, then use Control S or click this save button in the upper left corner. The asterisk will go away, and that means the change is permanent. Now, that machine will always pull the tools that you saved into that library as the tool library, rather than using all of the generic default tools that come with it. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But more importantly, we want to hear back from you. Let us know in the comments what else you want to learn about in Mastercam, tips and tricks or anything else. If you have other questions about Mastercam, you can also email us at sales@mcamnw.com. Thanks, and have a good day.